A very good morning to you and welcome to today's program, The Morning Digest. We do apologize for not starting the usual time due to a slight mishap, but here we are and I believe you're going to enjoy the show. Today we are talking about Against All Odds, and maybe some of you are wondering what exactly is this all about. But we have a special guest in the show today. She is a lady, or to be more specific, she's a young girl. And she's going to be telling us about her life's journey, and especially having to overcome a lot of obstacles in life, her growing up, and also we are going to align that to the aspect of especially the young people today and how they are disillusioned with life despite either having an education and thinking that they have a lot of problems. But sometimes when you listen to another person's story, then you realize, I have so much to give thanks to God for. And so today in the show, we have Brenda Baraka Otieno. Brenda, welcome to the show.
Asante sana, nashukuru sana.
Yeah, it's so nice to have you.
I'm so happy to see you as well.
And thanks for coming and beating the traffic on this day of Safari Rally. I think there's something happening about Safari Rally, and I do hope the rest of the Kenyans, especially in Nairobi, will get to their destinations in good time.
It's really
and
crazy.
So today you agreed to come to the show and tell us a bit about your story.
Yes.
And you have two origins in terms of your Kenyan and Tanzanian. So maybe utuambie kidogo your Kenyan side and your Tanzanian side. Let's begin there.
Most people have been actually wondering, is Brenda a Kenyan or a Tanzanian? Lakini leo ningependa niweke everything clear. I'm Brenda Baraka and I'm a Kenyan, basically. And you see, upbringing at times inakupataga unaelekea sehemu nyingine tofauti.
Yes.
You understand? As we normally say, God is the person who shapes your destiny. So I got fostered by somebody, a mom that I really love. Her name is Dina Marios, and she's a Tanzanian. And so nimekaa Tanzania sana, and also now I'm in Mombasa as well, currently. But then I'm a Tanzanian in terms of now my foster parent is a Tanzanian. But now mimi ni Mkenya, jamani, mimi ni Mkenya, mimi si Tanzania.
Wow.
Yes.
I think because of your prowess in the Kiswahili language, many people, and also having lived there, most people would confuse and think you are Tanzanian.
Tanzanian, yes.
So maybe you can tell us, because today we are talking about Against All Odds, and how people can, you know, face life positively despite what they've gone through. How was it like growing up? What are some of your childhood memories? Many children remember being taken to school, being dropped by the parents.
Yes.
Others remember boarding a bus to school, walking with their siblings to school. But what are some of your memories of your childhood? Yeah.
I'd say nimekulia maisha kama mtoto wa kawaida, you know, but kitu ambacho kina stand out ni kwamba I've been raised by a single mom. So unajua ile gap ya kwamba hauna baba, a father figure there, you know. So mimi nimelelewa na mama yangu. Anaitwa Janet Ongare, she's my biological mom. Kwa sababu unajua maisha inakufanyaga unakuwa na wazazi wengi.
True.
You know, but namshukuru Mungu. It's just from a humble beginning. Mitihani ipo, ya hapa na pale, challenges zipo, but ni mtoto tu wa kawaida kiukweli.
Yes. And so when at some point you found yourself in a situation where you sort of didn't have both of your parents around.
Yes.
So I believe you can tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, apparently nikianza
at a young age, and especially
the
fact that it happened at a very young age.
Yes. Yeah. I didn't get the chance to experience the father's love, but my dad, kwa bahati mbaya ama nzuri, you know, everything happens for the goodness of the Lord. Alifariki in 2005, you know. Thereafter, I've now grown with my mom, ambapo mamangu akaja kaniacha me approaching 15 years. So you see, pia alikuwa ameenda sehemu kutafuta riziki ya maisha. Because as a single mother, lazima a struggle, aone watoto watasoma vipi, you know. So sio rahisi jamani, sio rahisi kukosa mama physically there ambaye unamuona anakuguide kwamba Brenda, it is this, you know, it is not easy. It is not easy, lakini namshukuru Mungu kwa sababu the grace of the Lord haikuniwacha
kabisa.
Na ndio maana nadhani Biblia inasema wale watu ambao wanakuwa hawana watu wa kuwatazama pale, yani macho ya Mungu haikuwa haiondoki pale. So I just thank the Lord. However, sio rahisi jamani, it is not easy. Kwanza na kipindi ya sasa hivi, it's not easy, lakini nashukuru.
The word of God says that God is a father to the fatherless,
yes.
and is a mother to he's a father to the fatherless, and a husband, actually a husband.
Yes,
I almost missed that.
Yeah.
To the husbandless. And so what you're saying is true. God's eyes are on orphans, basically.
Yes.
And or also you can be an orphan by virtue of one parent being absent.
Yes.
And widows. And so you see, first of all, even today is a Widow's Day, and I know that's not the context of our discussion, but there's something I always tell people. If there are people you don't want to mess up with, they are needy in terms of our toto, our jiwezi, and these women that do not have their husbands, God's eyes is on them.
Yes.
And so at some point, first of all, how many primary schools did you attend?
Wow.
Because I think that's a story you'd want to tell us, because you'll be looking at some of the things that happen, not because we want to cast blame on anyone, but definitely if you're going to look at the challenges that sometimes people face, it's important to, you know.
Basically, I started in a private academy school called Njokim Academy, and now I went to a primary school known as Ronald Ngala Primary School, and that's now where I cleared my class 8.
So you only went to 2?
Yes,
yeah,
2.
That's good. Yeah.
Thereafter, I went to a certain high school in Uluyani, inaitwa Ikobero Girls, and it was really hard over there because now it is in the village, and you can imagine umepeleka mtoto wako shule lakini lazima achote maji ya jikoni ndio ale, ama lazima achambue mboga ndio ale.
It was not a boarding school?
It was a boarding school, you can imagine.
All right.
So you're actually going to the river kuchota 40 liters for now the kitchen ya shule, and then yours. So you can imagine it was sort of like a struggle, and I happened nikaacha. That was back in what I calculate by age.
It's fine.
You know,
age is just a number.
It's a number.
That's what they say.
Yeah. Afterwards, I went to Shiner's Girls, which is in Nakuru, and too bad now when nikiwa namaliza form 4, nikapata ajali. I got knocked down by a car. So my KCSE pia singeweza kufanya the practical exams. So I went back to form 3 in Kitengela Girls, you can imagine.
Wow.
So I went back to form 3, then I cleared form 4. Then namshukuru Mungu nikafika Daystar University, and I graduated. Na nashukuru Mungu hapa ndo nimefika jamani.
Wow. I'm very interested in how you are able to navigate the challenges of growing up, especially when you're a young girl. There is what in Kenya they call Team Mafisi.
Yes.
That's slang for the youth, and maybe you can tell us. But my take is these are people that, you know, hyena is up to no good.
Yes.
If you meet one, you better pray. So in real life, when they talk about Team Mafisi, as a young girl, you are so exposed to people that maybe did not intend good things for you, but somehow here you are, and you are able to, you know, navigate through those challenges, especially without your mom being present. How did you do that?
I think altogether, Madam Anne, I had a dream. Yeah. You know? And wanasema kwamba if your heart has a big dream, and you find yourself in an environment that cannot actually facilitate your dream, then maybe fix your eyes, ama put your eyes somewhere that you want to be. So I think kitu ambacho kilichochea mimi kuweza nika thrive ni kwamba nadhani cha kwanza ni neema ya Mungu, na pia wanasema where your mind goes is where now your body will follow you. So naamini kwamba mimi nilikuwa nimekata ile roho ya umaskini. Nilikuwa nimekata kwamba, you know, I don't want to be
giving up.
Nimeishia njiani skuli. You know, nilikuwa nasema liwe liwalo, Brenda lazima nitakanyaga campus, lazima nitafaulu, lazima nitaonekana. So I think my focus ndio kitu ambacho ilikuwa imenipush sana, na kukuwa disciplined at the same time.
Are there people that played a role? Because sometimes God can send people into your lives, and it's always good to give honor and credit. Are there people that played a role in your life to help you?
Yes. I had, maisha yangu imekuwa ni kama transition. Nimekuwa na watu wengi mno ambao wamenishika mkono. And I think kuna kitu ambacho ningekisema, if hauna mama ama baba physically unaweza ukawaona, nadhani kunakuwa na gap in the inside of you. So you see anybody you see like mom unataka ile attention, unajua. Kwa hiyo jamani, ni watu wengi sana, but ningependa ni mtaje. There is a very beautiful lady anaitwa Hannah Mwiru. She happened to be now a teacher at Kitengela Girls. Alini understand because in the long run, or rather the short run, nilikuwa naona kwamba okay, sio rahisi kwamba unaona kwamba jamani watu hawakuelewi kwa sababu maybe hauna mtu wa kumsemesha, you know. So I'd say Hannah Mwiru, thank you so much. Madam Esther Njenga, who was actually now the principal of Kitengela Girls by then, she really played a big role. Na nikifika campus sasa ndo nisiseme jamani, ni wengi sana.
Oh my, I know where you're heading.
Yes, ma'am.
There's something I want to say.
Yes.
Recently I was actually listening to the story of one of the great lawyers in this country. For now, I'll not mention the name of that person.
Yes.
And he gave us a story of resilience. Because after the entire village had done a fundraising, it was not even enough to pay the fees, which was not a lot. And it's not many years back. It was like 18,000. The entire group of family, friends, and all they could raise was 13,000. So he goes to the university, and the registrar tells them, no, you cannot be admitted. You must clear the balance.
Yes, ma'am.
He says, can I talk to the head of department of the law, the law department? I mean, this guy was focused. Akaenda kwa HOD says, no, we cannot admit you. You must clear the balance. He says, can I see the dean? And they're thinking, what kind of a guy is this? You know? So he goes to the dean, and the dean says, I'm sorry, but policy is policy. We cannot admit you. And he asks the dean, do poor people study in this school? Are you aware that all the money I brought is what the entire village and my friends could raise? So give me a chance. I mean, today, this guy is one of the, what I would call brilliant lawyers. But there's something I saw, persistence, not giving up, being focused. There's someone who could have been told from the registrar's office, go back home, and they go back home. So I would say maybe one day, you know, his story will be made public. But it tells us that persistence is very key. And this takes me now to your life in the university.
Yes, ma'am.
You're passionate about media. And someone said, never say die.
Yes.
As long as you're alive, your dream, keep your dream alive. One day it will come to pass. You worked in the students' radio station. And many people might look down on the campus stations, not knowing that it is the very place where gifts are mentored. Can you tell us about, because you are really aggressive, that's the word I can say.
Yes.
Marketing your show in the local market, where probably people would say, why are you marketing this show? After all, these people are not even advertising in the station.
Yes.
Could you tell us what was your driving force for that dream that you're still hoping and trusting that one day will become a reality?
There are 7 keys I actually read in a book by Joel Austin, Becoming Better. There are 7 keys that helps or enables somebody to maybe keep your dream alive, because as much as yote 9-10, mi nasema never put your life to be a dull life. Keep dreaming, keep hoping, keep wishing. You know, because we were never created to have a meager or a mediocre life by God. So what I'd say, kitu ambacho kilikuwa, thank you so much. So kitu ambacho naweza nikasema ni kwamba I knew what I wanted. You know, and always after ukishajua kwamba hichi ni kitu ambacho nakitaka, keep pressing forward. Be positive towards yourself. Form better habits. And form better relationships at the same time. Na kila kitu jamani lazima uweke juhudi na uifanyie kazi. So nilikuwa nishajua kwamba jamani, mdomo wangu ndio riziki. Mdomo wangu ndio naweza nikammentor mtu ama nikamguza moyo wa mtu pale nje. Kwa sababu gani Brenda ni nyamaze? Kwa hiyo nilikuwa na ile kiherehere ya kwamba jamani nataka mnisikie, nataka mjue kwamba na kitu cha namna hiki.
The details
of course.
From kiosk to kiosk. You need to tell us that, because many times when people see someone as a shafika, what they call the pinnacle or self-actualization, they think it came so easy. But that's not the case. So tell us those moments when you would have to walk from shop to shop and tell the people, yeah, this is a campus station, but you're taking even this simple thing very seriously. Yeah.
You see, nilikuwa naona kwamba cha kwanza pale kila mtu tulikuwa tuko vizuri wengi. Na ndio maana tunasema duniani sio whatever ambacho unacho mwingine hana. Kila mtu ako nacho hicho hicho. So mimi nakumbuka hiyo siku my show was every Thursday in the morning and I'm so young. So nilikuwa natembea jamani kila kioski at the river in Daystar, namwambia jamani dadangu naomba usikilize show yangu. Unajua nakuwa naandika pia nabandika, you know, kwa every hostel naandika jamani ni Brenda Baraka nitizameni. So what am I trying to say ni kwamba you have to push. You know, lazima ujitahidi jamani, lazima ukazane ili gurudumu la maisha. And so irrespective of that, you see now before I started even Shine FM, I remember hiki kipaji changu kiligunduliwa in Tanzania pale Dar es Salaam. There is a station ambayo ilikuwa inaitwa EFM. So you can imagine kwanza nao lafudhi ya kule na yetu ni tofauti.
So lafudhi ndio nini?
Lafudhi is like mother.
Yeah, you need to break it down.
Lafudhi ni kama tunavyoongea ni kama you see now Sheng and kuna Swahili ya Mombasa, Swahili you know. So unaambiwa nenda
dialect.
Dialect. Nenda Mbagala, nenda sijui Tandale, nenda sijui sehemu mbalimbali, enda ukafanye vox pop. So you have to push yourself mama. That's what I'd say. Na kitu kingine pia ujiamini, confidence ndio kitu ambacho ni mambo yote jamani.
Thank you. Wow. This is interesting. Now, tell me about university life. Sometimes as kids or other students, let me use that, go to the university in the hope that after my university, I will get this dream job, you know? So, and I'm not saying education is really, really important. I support it anytime. But what can you advise young people, especially education is one of the keys in terms of, as you study, don't put aside your gifts, basically. Yeah.
Cha kwanza ningependa kumtia moyo mtu kwamba knowledge is wealth and wealth is knowledge. And often times tukiingia university tunakuwa tumejaza mind zetu kwamba you know naingia pale miaka 4 namaliza basi natafuta kazi naendesha gari langu. I mean you might be disappointed. Unajua. Kwa hiyo kitu ambacho ninaweza nikakisema jamani on my side ni kwamba let me go irrespective, lakini mimi naomba niongelee kwamba sisi wenyewe tuko na mipango zetu kama wanadamu. Lakini Mungu ana purpose aliyokuleta hapa duniani. Ana makusudio yake aliyokuleta hapa duniani. Because I remember nilivyoingia Daystar, I studied international relations. You know, ndo niliingia as that IR student.
You thought that's what you wanted to study?
I thought that is what I want to study. So the second term, I'm like, no. This is not my thing.
My heart is not here.
Yeah, my heart is not here. And thank you so much to Madam Esther Kibe. Because I remember that time she walks in class and she asked me, why am Tanzania? Tell us what is happening in China.
Wow.
And I'm like, jamani mwalimu. Mimi hata China haya ni usumi hata rais wa China simjui. Mimi nitajuaje haya mambo? And she was like, are you comfortable doing this course? And I'm like, hapana. I think watu wa kwanza wameelewa ni nini kuingia. So that's how
just
now.
Love the beautiful name IR.
Yes. And I think I have to say this. There is a lady, her name is Anne David. She actually enabled me to come and understand kwamba Brenda, I can do communication. And also I'd say thank you so much to my lecturer Winnie Mbatha. She said Brenda, it is communication. Lakini kitu ambacho najaribu kukisema kwamba ndoto inaweza kuwa ikawa disappointed kitu ambacho unajipangia wewe mwenyewe. Sasa mimi niliingia IR lakini Mungu alikuwa na makusudio kwamba Brenda wewe utakuwa ni mtangazaji, utakuwa media personality na hapo ndo nilikofika.
Awesome. Wow, Brenda, it's interesting to hear your story. And before we go on break, there's something I've picked from what you've been saying. One, God doesn't want mediocrity of us. That's not what His purposed for us. And sometimes in your journey to where God intends you to be, there will be challenges. But that doesn't mean those are meant to, you know, to finish you, but basically to do what? To help you move to the next step. And so with that, we're going to be taking a short break. And when we come back, we will look at some aspects of the downside, missed opportunities, and how sometimes you can just find like you're at the end of the road, but that doesn't mean you're at the end of your road. We'll be back after the break.
Inspiring, engaging, and empowering local talk shows.
We are looking at the Babylonian system in the house of God.
Our task is to restore the church to operate according to a biblical manual, according to what Jesus said.
The religious spirit helps people to be satisfied with what they have here.
So that when the deceiver comes, he finds nothing of him in us.
International Christian news. Uplifting local music shows.
Kama una hiyo talent, itengeneze kwa mambo ya kiroho. Baki na Mungu.
Classic documentaries.
And become the antelope's worst nightmare.
Discussions on marriage and relationships.
Marriage and bliss, restoring God's order in marriages and relationships.
You need to have patience. You need to have love. And you also need to trust in the Lord.
It's just a coincidence that we're so much aware of what is right and what is wrong, and yet we tend to throw all caution to the wind to do what is wrong.
Your worth surpasses all earthly things, because in the eyes of the Lord God, you are loved.
We have to speak the gospel valiantly with our lives, and it's disheartening. But nevertheless, the gospel, as we know it, has through the test of time. We might want to go to war with it and judge, but no.
Marko 10:45 inasema, kwa maana mwana wa Adamu naye hakuja kutumikiwa, bali kutumika na kutoa nafsi yake iwe fidia ya wengi. Muulize anajifunza nini kupitia hilo neno?
I know I'm not just a lucky recruit of salvation, but I am a blessed son in the kingdom.
For this was the beginning of my tribulation, for there was no reason to plead an innocent statement.
Welcome back to the Morning Digest, and today we are listening to the story of Brenda Baraka, and we are talking about against all odds. Sometimes you think you have problems, but when you listen to people's situations, you're grateful for what you have. And I don't think anybody asks to go through stuff. Nobody signs up for problems. I don't think so. If anything, everybody loves a smooth life. You wake up, you find yourself in a normal home with everybody around, with every need provided for. But there are times that the things we go through teach us and train us to be strong people. And sometimes what you go through is a sign of the solution that God has put in your hand for other people. And so today we have our beautiful guest, Brenda Baraka, talking to us about having grown up and whatever she had to go through, going through an accident, and God helping her to, heal over time. Now, Brenda, talking about your love for media.
Yes.
I believe this dream is still very much alive in you. And sometimes you don't attain your dream according to your calendar. Let me say that.
Exactly.
And I think many times when I've had discussions with my friends, including you, I always tell them your calendar and God's calendar could be so different that if God rolled out his calendar for you, you'd actually go back and sleep and say, let me wake up after one day and digest what this is all about. Where am I heading with all this? You applied for a job in one of the most prestigious, if I would say, international media organizations.
Yes.
And by the grace of God, you passed all the interviews to the point of talking to the bosses in the offices abroad.
Yes.
And after all that, take it up from there. Because I don't want to say it all for you.
Jamani. Yani katika maisha yangu nahisi kwamba time ambao nilikuwa nikawa disappointed ilikuwa ni kipindi hicho. It was back in 2018. And you know how hard I push, you know. And before I reach to that point kwa kuomba kazi pale BBC, it's actually BBC.
Yeah.
Nilikuwa nishafanya in a couple of media centers. Kwa hiyo I knew kwamba hii ni nafasi yangu.
Yeah.
Kwa hiyo namshukuru Mungu nilienda zangu Dar es Salaam kwa sababu hiyo position ilikuwa iko Dodoma. They needed a reporter. Kwa hiyo nashukuru Mungu niliweza nikafaulu. The interview was so cool. And these guys tells me kwamba we're going to communicate after 2 weeks. Kwa hiyo baada ya wiki mbili wanakuja wananitumia email kwamba I'm sorry dada, we cannot, hatuwezi tukakuchukua kwa sababu ya by then the late hayati Magufuli alikuwa, yani ukiajiriwa kule lazima uwe na kadi ya Kitanzania, work permit and you know
in other words, requirements that are part of what the government had decided.
Na kipindi hicho nilikuwa sina hivyo vitu. So nikakosa ile nafasi. But mimi nasemanga in the long run, unakujaga unaelewa vitu vinatokea katika maisha yako baada ya maybe miezi ama mwaka ama nini. Kwa sababu unajua sasa kitu ambacho kilikuwa kinani await ni kwamba my health. You know, because now I had my surgery last year, mwezi wa 6 tarehe 25, and that's what wanajiuliza, huyu Brenda yuko wapi, amepotea wapi, anafanya wapi? Lakini jamani, I had a surgery ambayo inaitwa total hip replacement. So I've not been feeling well, lakini nadhani Mungu aliona kwamba jamani, wacha ile mlango ifungwe ili mradi, kwa sababu unajua your health has no spare parts. Ili mradi niweze nikatibiwa nikawa niko vizuri, kwa sababu pia kazi huwezi kufanya kama unaumwa. So at times nasema tu just be positive. Hata kama vitu haviendi unavyotaka, lakini hiyo sio, it's not your life. Hii ni maisha ya Mwenyezi Mungu. Na ndo anakupangia utakuwa wapi kwa wakati gani. God is a person who positions you. But yote 9-10 usichoke. Dream moja ikiwa imezimika, waendelea kutafuta nyingine. Keep on dreaming, keep on pressing. Na Mungu mimi najua atakufikisha mahala sahihi wakati ukifika na muda ukifika.
That's right.
Yes.
In fact, ninapokusikiza I hear you talking about the same story that Miles Monroe, the late, gave, and you know, I listened to that story among many others, and he said, because by the time he passed on and went to be with the Lord, he was among the kind of people that governments call to come and advise cabinet, presidential consultant. He would be consulting. Presidents would consult him on matters leadership. But he said between the time he got to where he was and from the beginning to where he was, for 15 years, he taught for free. I'm not talking about preaching. Yani because his work is on leadership matters. He taught for free, like he would go places, teach, go home at his own expense. So for 15 years, it's like, what's he need for me? But God was preparing him for the bigger picture. So when I hear you, what I hear you saying also is that sometimes it may seem like unaona ile ndoto umeifikia, then it's like someone snatches it from you, but God is seeing and God does not forget. Would you consider that to have been one of your lowest moments?
Of course, of course. It's been one of my, not even one, a number of
low moments.
Yes. Lakini kitu ambacho kimekuwa kinanitia nguvu, cha kwanza ningependa nimtie moyo mtazamaji. Hatima yako ikiwa ni nzito, then vita vyako vinakuwa vikali. Kwamba Mwenyezi Mungu ni kama anakunoa, you know, because we need mental maturity. At times you think like, this is my position, I want to be here. Lakini Mungu anaona kwamba naona kuna kitu, kuna ingredient fulani lazima niongeze in your system ama in your mind ili mradi ukaweza ukafanya kazi vizuri. But kitu ambacho pia naweza nikasema, walk with good people, walk with, I'd say kwamba nashukuru Mungu amenipatia a circle ambayo imeniongoza sana, you know, and wamenimentor in terms of kwamba nikiwa niko chini, I know whom to run to. Like you also know, jamani mami, mimi niko chini, you know. Na kitu pia naweza nikasema pia ni wakati sahihi wa kwamba just form a better relationship with the Lord. Because utakuwa na ule moyo kwamba I know God planted seeds of greatness in the inside of me. I know mimi nitafika pale. Kwa hiyo hicho ndio kitu nasema kwamba form a better relationship with God and make sure you have a divine circle, ama circle ambao inakutia moyo ukiwa uko chini. Sio kwamba inakukandamiza, lakini inakupandisha ukiwa uko chini.
And I like what you've said, form a strong relationship with God. One of the things that people would say, you're saying that because you're speaking from a Christian station. But then the truth is, of course, this is a place where we can talk about Christ freely. But in life, people are spiritual beings, whether you're on the devil's side or on God's side. You notice that people that succeed highly and they are not on God's side, they have some powers that they use that are not aligned to God. And then the people that succeed highly, they are highly connected to God. So I think, as you know, you talk to us, it's that aspect of you're not just a random creation that landed on planet Earth,
of course,
planless. One of the amazing things is about our God. With all the billions of human beings here, he has a plan for every one of us. And so I think, like you said at the beginning, what is your purpose? Kuna jambo, everybody, there's something you said about your mouth. Your mouth is in Swahili. It's like the gift God gave you to come to planet Earth. In Swahili, what did you say?
Sijui nilisema nini, lakini mi naweza kusema kwamba ulimi ni kiungo kidogo sana, lakini ndo inajenga na ndo inaharibu. Because let me tell you, people say kwamba aka kashetani. It's not aka kashetani. Because shetani, the Bible says shetani was one of God's angel, anaitwa Lucifer, akiwa kule mbinguni. Kwa hiyo ana nguvu za ajabu sana. Na pia Mungu ana nguvu za ajabu sana. So whatever you say, the Lord will take it.
You are a creator.
Yes.
Like God is a creator.
Exactly. Kwa hiyo
go on. Sorry. What I'm just yes, I don't want us to miss this.
Yes, Mom.
People speak things and things happen. Like someone says, "Ai akileo kuna kaje." It's like what are you prophesying for yourself? So I think from today, maybe you can speak to the person that's watching and tell them, even if it has not yet happened, one day it will happen. Don't give up on your dream.
Naomba nikwambie mtazamaji, kila kitu kinafanyika kwa sababu. Things doesn't just happen. Lakini kwa kila mitihani ambayo mtu anapitia, you know, oftentimes we give people our time, lakini atukai chini tukawa na meeting with ourselves, evaluate ourselves. Jua kwamba jamani, huu mtihani ambao ninao ni mtihani Mungu analeta, ni mtihani najiletea mwenyewe, ama ni mtihani ambao ni shetani analeta. Ukishajua hivyo vipengele vitatu, you will know how to kujua kwamba jamani, hii ni shetani. Then wewe omba sana. Hamna kitu chochote hapa duniani bila kuomba. Lakini naomba nikutie moyo, wakati wa Mungu ni muda sahihi. Because madam, kitu ambacho naona tunasumbuka sana ni anxiety. Mimi nataka mfike pale. Na time yetu tunajiwekea vitu mbalimbali kulingana na muda wetu. Lakini namtia mtu moyo ambaye amevunjika moyo, wewe jitie moyo, karibia Mungu, na mimi najua kwamba Mungu atakufikisha mahali ambapo unataka. Kwa sababu naamini kwamba destiny ya mwanadamu iko kwenye mikono yako. You decide where you wanna go. Na ndio mimi nashangaga mtoto mwenye anasema mimi sitaki shule, afu mwisho wa siku anakuambia ni Mungu alinipangia. Sio Mungu, ni wewe mwenyewe umepanga hayo maisha. Just be focused. And where your mind, as I said initially, where your mind inaenda ndio mwili wako utafika.
It's true.
So na uvumilivu, na muombe Mungu sana na utaona miujiza.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, our dear viewers. I believe you are watching and also sending your comments to YouTube and Facebook and also to our WhatsApp number. As we call it a day, Brenda, there's a scripture that says, write the vision down and let him that runs run with it. Many times people do not write their vision down, despite the fact that because God has given you a beautiful voice, strong personality. If you stand today, if you go to a radio station today, watu wanapenda sauti yako, what is your big picture? in less than a minute in terms of if you were to write down and say, this is my vision. One day nikiattain hii, Bwana nitasema asante for the rest of my life.
Ndio maana ningesema sisi tuna matamanio zetu kama wanadamu, lakini Mungu mwenyewe, nitarudi pale pale, makusudia Mungu katika maisha yako ni gani? But what I'd say ni kwamba I just want to be somebody. I just want to make something. Nataka niinue ma souls ambazo zimevunjika moyo. I want to mentor people. So ni kitu ambacho naweza kusema, I just want to be valuable. Kwa sababu mwisho wa siku utataka mali, utapata gari, utapata sijui nyumba, lakini nao unajenga nafsi ya mtu namna gani? So I just want God anifikishe sehemu ambapo najua jamani, hii sauti itafika mbali na itatia watu moyo, na moso kwanza warudie Mwenyezi Mungu, kwa sababu tumefika kwa wakati. We are in the end time. We are in the end time. Yes.
Wow, time does not allow us, honestly. This has been interesting. Whether you're young, whether you're old, whether you're in your middle ages, I believe you've learned something about being focused and knowing that regardless of what you go through, at the end of the day, there is hope and there is a God who is always there. He says he will never leave us nor forsake us. And today it's been an honor to host Brenda Baraka to the show. And so I believe you will tune in next week and also share. You can also subscribe to the Elevate TV channel, and may the Lord bless you until we meet again on Thursday. I've been your host, Ann David. God bless you so much until we meet again.